Hi, Richard. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. So today, just kind of gonna be a little introduction to our sessions. It is gonna go on YouTube. So is that okay with you?
Yeah,
Are
that's
you
fine.
okay with that? Okay, good. And then also everything to a certain extent. I know it's going on YouTube, but it will just be shared between myself, my partner, and my teacher. Any other things they do and will remain confidential with me. With the exception of a few things. One is if you're going to plan on hurting yourself, plan on hurting somebody else, or if somebody's hurting you. Those are the three things that I am mandated to tell. So usually it's with students, and I know, but either way, just know that there are some things that, those three things that are not covered under being confidential during our sessions, okay?
Okay.
Okay, perfect. So are we good to proceed forward then?
Yeah.
Okay. So you came in, you're coming in. I just wanted to get to know you a little bit, know who you are. You can ask me questions, kind of break the ice and get to know each other a little bit before we go any deeper, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about yourself.
I like to ride motorcycles.
Okay.
I like working with my hands.
Okay.
Very competitive.
Okay. So what do you like about motorcycles?
The fact that I'm competitive. You know, I like to. I'm an adrenaline junkie.
Okay.
So, I don't know, just being dumb.
Going fast.
Going fast. That would be one of them. Yes.
Okay. So you said you like to work with your hands. What do you do for a living?
Heating and air conditioning.
Okay. So how's that?
Been doing it for a long time, and it's very stressful.
Very stressful.
Very
Okay.
stressful.
So what parts of your job are stressful?
Being in management, you know, dealing with the different technicians and their abilities. You know, not everybody has the skill set that I would like them to have.
Mm-hmm.
So constantly taking phone calls and having to answer dumb questions.
Okay.
It's frustrating and stressful. And yeah, that's about it.
Okay. So you said you've been doing it for what, over 10 years?
Yeah, 13, 14 years, something
Oh my
like that.
goodness.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a long time in one profession anyway. But so you also said you're in management.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you have how many people are you in charge of, you think?
6.
Six guys, all underneath you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So tell me a little bit more about your job, about what are your hobbies, anything, and if you have any questions for me.
Another thing that's stressful with the job is we are still a smaller company, and so, you know, I've been a technician for a long time, and I'm really good at what I do, and so I still go out and run service calls. I still go out and run calls, and at the same time, I'm taking phone calls from the guys,
Mm-hmm.
and all at the same time, I'm having to deal with the office side of things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, doing the office work. I do all the training meetings in the mornings. Now they have me going and doing the TV commercials and the radio, and so now I have all of these things that I'm juggling, and it's a lot. A huge change, really fast, and because we are still small and we're still growing, I'm not compensated the way that I should be for wearing so many hats, so to speak.
So So you're kind of doing two different roles, and then even sometimes it sounds like maybe more roles that you're doing.
Yeah.
I can see where that could be a little bit frustrating at times. So are there aspects of any of those? I mean, it sounds like, I mean, you've been doing it for a long time, and now you have these added responsibilities. But what is your favorite part of your job?
I think part of the reason why I got into, or why I enjoy doing heating and air conditioning so much is I like to be, like I said, I'm very competitive. I like to be the best. And so being the best and having all of the guys come to me with the questions, and being able to teach them something new and see the light bulb click, it's very rewarding. It's very rewarding when, I teach the guys something and they go out and they utilize what I taught them and they become successful. Them being successful helps me feel that I'm being successful.
That's good. So when you say you're not compensated, like monetarily, like you're not
I don't get paid for it.
Okay, so you're kind of doing this in more of a volunteer position at this point.
Yeah, I'm looking at it long term. I don't plan on going anywhere. This is it's a excellent company, and I'm paid well for the position, or for heating and air conditioning. Long term, it will pay off. It's just waiting. Getting there is going to be frustrating, and it's just a matter of time.
So you sound like, well, you said you have a lot of stress. You get frustrated. What are some of the things that you're doing currently that might kind of help you with that, or that you think, do you have any stress outlets? You said you like motorcycles.
I work too much to be able to ride motorcycles.
Okay, so what are some of the things that you think might help with coping with some of the stress, or anything like that? Do you have any?
I couldn't even begin to guess. I have no idea.
Okay, so it sounds like to me maybe having a little bit better balance. Do you think that would help, between work and not work?
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
And at what point do you feel like you'll be able to get to the point where you're able, or what do you need to be able to do to get to that point where you're able to have that balance?
I need to have just one job.
Just one job. Okay. And how do you go about that? Or how will you?
Hiring. I need, in my eyes, I need to hire 2 to 3 more experienced guys to be able to fill my shoes in the field. And so, unfortunately, experienced technicians are hard to come by. And so, I've hired a couple of guys, and unfortunately let a couple guys go, because they're all new to the industry and they don't have, some of them don't want to put in the time, and some of them just don't care, and it's all experience based. Hiring more guys is definitely going to help me not have to run as many calls. But at the same time, as we grow, more calls come in, thus needing more technicians, and the cycle repeats.
Sounds like it's a good problem to have for the company you work for, maybe not the best for you per se, because it causes more stress in your life.
Right.
Okay. So what, but you said you did enjoy teaching the guys and seeing the light bulb go off.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a positive side to some of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not all negative. But what, how does your boss feel? What does he about your position and about your workload?
He told me, don't think about the office side of things. Don't worry about the manager role. Be more of a technician and run calls. Get back to what I'm used to doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand why he said that, because that's what I enjoy doing. But at the same time, it doesn't. That position is still needing to be filled,
Mm-hmm.
and that's still my position, and so I'm still doing the work. And so now what ended up happening is I was working till 8 or 9 o'clock at night,
Mm-hmm.
and working a ton and running the calls and still dealing with all the crap.
Mm-hmm.
So his the way that he sees it, he keeps telling me, look at the long term, and of course that's the only way I can look at it and to stay positive
Mm-hmm.
about it.
So you just keep looking forward and
Yeah.
chugging along at this point.
Yeah.
Okay. So in that future role, what does that look like to you?
Basically the same thing I'm doing now, minus running calls. I would be doing more training and writing with the technicians that we have,
Mm-hmm.
interviewing new hires or potential new hires, and the way that I see it going, 3 days a week I would be riding with somebody,
Mm-hmm.
and being able to do evaluations and help the guys more than I am now. Now I spend about an hour in the morning to do some form of training,
Mm-hmm.
and then for the next half hour, we're getting paperwork finished and getting out to our first calls, and
Mm-hmm.
so that 1 hour time in the morning, it's not nearly enough time to get a full message across.
Mm-hmm.
So to be able to get out in the van, in the trucks with the guys, and go and run the calls with the guys and see, what they're doing in the home, maybe give them some coaching on different things, introducing them to different techniques when working
Mm-hmm.
on equipment, things like that to help speed up the process. And essentially what I would be looking for is to streamline the service department,
Mm-hmm.
not be so disorganized. And since I've taken this position, I feel that we've made a huge change as far as being organized,
Mm-hmm.
which is great.
So kind of redesign the whole way you guys do things, more or less.
Maybe not completely redesign, but go through it.
Mm-hmm.
Make it better.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, that sounds like a lot of work between between where everything's at now and moving forward. So, what are some, or what do you feel are some goals we can set, or you can set, for you to try to get? Just what it sounds like to me is you're pretty stressed and frustrated with the way things are right now.
Mm-hmm.
So what are some goals we can set to try and reduce even the amount of stress and a little bit more of the frustration, whether it be an outlet, whether it be talking to your boss, what are some goals we can maybe set to try and reduce some of that stress and reduce some of that frustration that you have?
idea.
Let's brainstorm. What's one thing?
To get rid of stress, to help relieve stress.
Or just if you could say anything you ever wanted to your boss that would help you reduce that stress, what would you do? What could
quit.
you do? You quit. Okay. Maybe not that extreme.
Okay. Maybe more time at home.
More time at home?
Not working as much. Problem is, even when I'm at home, I'm getting phone calls all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm never truly off work,
Okay.
unless if somebody's out working, I'm working,
Mm-hmm.
whether I'm in a uniform or not. So.
Okay. So it sounds like you have a lot on your shoulders, or you feel you have a lot resting on your shoulders right now, and you have a lot of responsibility
Mm-hmm.
within just your own personal responsibility and then the responsibilities of the job. So besides quitting, so more time at home, how are you going to, what goal how are you going to reach that point to be able to have more time at home? What needs to happen?
Hire more guys.
Hire more guys. So how are you working on hiring more guys at this point?
I'm reaching out to people that I've worked with in the past,
Mm-hmm.
and seeing if they would be interested, or if they know anybody that would be interested. I have one friend that I've been trying to get to come over, but he's stubborn.
So you're out recruiting people, more or less recruiting. And,
Yeah, we're actually gonna put up. We're gonna go around to the different distributors and see if they'll allow us to post like a flyer.
Mm-hmm.
They usually have like little bulletin boards.
Mm-hmm.
See if we can post a flyer there. Hopefully recruit that way.
Mm-hmm. So you guys, it sounds like you're actively trying to get to that point. It's just
Always
a little
trying.
bit of work to get there at this
Problem
point.
is, the guys that are good,
Mm-hmm.
their bosses know they're good, and they take care of them,
Mm-hmm.
so that way they won't leave. And to try to get those guys to leave is very difficult.
Okay.
But we keep trying.
That's good. Keep moving ahead. Keep moving forward. That's always good. So, stress level wise, all of this happening, and I'm going out and recruiting and doing all of that, and hiring. You said a few new guys. Do you feel like that would decrease the amount of stress you feel, or increase it?
It would increase it, because I would have to go through and train them. We have it's about a week and a half long little training program with
Mm-hmm.
new hires. In total, it's about 2 weeks, because then we go run calls. But anyways, it would increase the stress, because I'd be taking a guy and getting him used to the way we do things and our paperwork, and
Mm-hmm.
it would increase the stress there. But overall, probably decrease the stress
Mm-hmm.
once he's in a van and out
Doing his thing.
Yeah.
So that would be a little bit off of your plate, and then a new person filling that role.
Yeah.
Okay. So we didn't really work a whole bunch on actually setting any goals today. So if for the next session, if we can kind of think about some of the ways, just actively think about what you're doing to decrease some of the stress and what you could be doing. Is that could that be kind of like a mini goal for this next week or so?
Yeah.
To just try and be a little bit more active in thinking about, oh, this is a good stress relief for me. This is what I'm kind of doing to cope. Or maybe I need to try something, or maybe think of something else. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Then I will see you next week, and we will talk some more.
All right.
Thank you.